Hi, do you feel like you're surrounded by picky eaters? Is your child really difficult to satisfy on the food front? Then don't worry, I'm here to help you. I'm Camilla, I'm a parenting coach, and I'm 39 years old with a background in psychology, and I'm a mom. And every week I drop new videos with different topics for parents, different tips and tricks and tools and random parenting things. So if you're into these videos, please like and subscribe and feel free to share around with anyone else that you think could benefit from this. But let's look at our food things with our kids. So first of all, I think we need to recognize that a lot of parenting, it's very easy for us to kind of get really frustrated with our kids about, oh my God, he won't eat this and she won't eat that and she won't even try. And, we're always kind of pointing the finger outwards, the child is very much to blame. And yes, of course, children, their taste palette is very different to ours. It's not as developed. They do tend to like blender foods. They don't always like flavors that are fused together, many different flavors, mixed. They prefer things separate on the plate. There's a lot of kind of typical things that you get for kids. But our attitudes to food as the parents also very much come into play. So we need to think, what are our preconceived ideas about what children should be eating and what a mealtime should look like? Should everybody be on their best behavior, sitting there nicely with folded napkins and like cutlery and, cutting things nicely and speaking politely? Or are we a bit more relaxed about it? Or, do we want them to eat everything we've dished up for them? Are we the ones putting stuff on their plate, or are they allowed to kind of ladle up what they want? Are they allowed to choose? There's so many factors that come into play, so it's really worth having a little think and reflecting on, what are your views on food? Are you very much eat everything that's on the plate kind of person, waste not, want not? Or are you a bit more relaxed and thinking, well, I'm sure they'll get their nutrition, covered by, it's very different from person to person. So have a little think about, what are you bringing to the table? Like, what are your previous experiences? What was your childhood like with food? What were dinner times like for you? Were they fun? Was it like a nice place where you could discuss things? Was it very strict? Did it feel very formal and unrelaxed? What are you bringing to the table, basically? That is important because, there's something about thinking about, how would we like our dinner times to look with our children? And what do they actually look like? And then kind of looking at that gap and accepting what there is, accepting things as they are, but then also looking at how can we make things a little bit more fun, a little bit easier, especially around the foods that we're eating. Because if we feel like we've got to cook 3-4 different meals to satisfy everyone in the family, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work for one person. And also really, that's not helping our children in some ways, because they're not expanding their horizons with different food flavors, and they will always be eating the same stuff if we cater to them in that kind of way. So let's look at what we can do. So first of all, they say it takes 7 times on average before a child will try a new food. So they need to see a food 7 times before they'll even like try it and taste it and accept it. Or they've got to taste it 7 times before they start thinking, yeah, maybe I'll allow this and maybe I'll eat this. So, things that look a bit weird, asparagus maybe, or anything that might have a different texture, avocados, mushrooms, certain things. Children might have, things where there's like, no way, not trying that, not eating that. But there's something about praising them when they try something new. I think that's really, really important. So the first step is praising any kind of progress, any kind of attempt, any kind of even just sniffing the food. You're one step closer. So really encourage them, really sort of, that's really awesome. You tried something new. A story I bring up a lot with my kid is the first time he was going to have cake, he didn't want it. He did not want to go anywhere near it. And I say to him often when we're about to try something that he's never tried before, a food, I say to him, you love cake now. You really, really love it. But there was a day when you didn't even want to taste it. You were like, no way, I'm not trying that. I've never tried that before. That looks gross. I'm not eating that. And imagine what your world would be like without cake, So every time you try something new, it might be your new favorite food, but you won't know until you try it. So that's something I use a lot with my kid. then there's something about, the more we persist in something, the more they resist, right? So sometimes just allowing it to just sit on the plate or just be on the table, they see us eating it, they see us like enjoying it and savoring it and making all the good food noises. Sometimes that's enough to spark their interest. If we're telling them, eat this, come on, eat what's on your plate, then it becomes more forced and they start resisting because, hey, once you're stubborn, they become stubborn and it kind of escalates, So that's another thing to bear in mind. Just sometimes just leaving it or just having it visible on the table is enough just as a starting point. Then the other fun things that you can do is, if you have children that are notoriously picky eaters and you're already in that place where it's really, really difficult around food, maybe let's have some fun with it. Let's take a different approach. Take them out food shopping with you. Get them to put things in the trolley, tell them they've got to find something new. And it doesn't have to be, maybe make some rules beforehand. It can't be sweets, it can't be packaged food that you already know what it tastes like. It's got to be something different. Or it can be anything from the vegetable section or anything from the fruit section. Or, have a think about how you want to play this. Or maybe it's from the meat section. Maybe they want to try something that looks a bit weird. Sometimes you get those deli places where you might have something that looks unusual, or you might have a fish with a head and they might think it's a bit more exciting because the fish head is still on there, or whatever. You know your child best. You're the expert on your child. So you're going to know what's going to pique their interest and get them curious. Because what we really want to be doing is getting them curious and having fun. It's all about having fun. So get them involved, bring them shopping, let them choose some things, let them see where the carrots come from. Maybe the carrots where they've got the green bits on the end still, or when you walk past a tree, show them, look, that's an apple tree, this is where the apples come from. Really get them involved in thinking about where does their food actually come from. Or even better, plant something. Plant some herbs on the windowsill. Anyone can do this at home, even if you've got very little space. It's really simple, small steps, and they can watch the little things from a seed start to grow and start to blossom. And they're much more likely to want to taste, a basil leaf or something if they've seen it grow, rather than you just rocking up and giving them like some basil and being like, here, have this basil. It's going to be in your spaghetti sauce in a minute. And they might taste it and be like, why are you giving me these green leaves to eat, So have a think about, how are you presenting the food to them? Where is it coming from? Get them involved, and then get them in the kitchen with you, get them slicing, stirring. If they're too young to slice with a sharp knife, get them stirring something. Get an apron for them, or let them borrow your apron, or if you don't have an apron, it doesn't matter. But my point is, let's make it fun. Let's make it a group activity. Let's get them involved. The more they are with you, seeing you having fun and seeing the process, and they get to put the pepper in or the salt or the herbs or whatever, the more likely they are to taste it and want to eat it. And of course, know your child's palate. Don't give them tons of habanero chilies if that's not what they're able to tolerate. Most children can't handle spicy foods, So start simple. If they're used to things being separated on their plate, that's fine. Get them involved. Get them to still have stuff separated on the plate, but then maybe put a little bit of sauce on top of some of the stuff. Or, just kind of bit by bit, baby steps, right? And then above all else, once they've cooked a meal with you, just give them loads of praise and encouragement and just really have a fun time with them, Even if it's something as simple as, if they don't want to be involved to start with, just put them near you in the kitchen so that they can see you cooking, and then maybe put on some music and dance in the kitchen while you're cooking. Sing, put on your favorite song. Just have some fun with it. It's all about having fun and them seeing you having fun, so that cooking and meal times and food all become about fun. And then above all else, don't take it personally if they don't like your food. It's not personal. It's not because you're a bad parent or that you're not good enough or that your cooking isn't good enough. I'm sure your food is fantastic. If you are able to eat it, of course it's good. If other people in the family enjoy it, of course it's good. There's just something about children are trying new things. They're learning to develop their taste buds and their palate. It's not personal. Don't take it personally, because then it becomes much more of a prickly subject, and then we're right back to the not having fun. And the thing about it being like a heavy, not a fun experience, that really feeds into this whole thing about how are they perceiving it and how, what are they picking up on? So it all starts with us. We have fun in the kitchen. They see us having fun in the kitchen. They see us enjoying our foods, fresh berries, fresh vegetables, you know, it's coming into the season now where fresh tomatoes and all those things are available. So let them see you enjoy your food. Let them be part of choosing it and let them be part of cooking it. And I guarantee you it will get easier from there on out. So try it out. Let me know how it goes. Let me know in the comments. Feel free to share this with anyone else. And of course, I'll be back next week with different tips. So like and subscribe if you want to have some more videos. And I'll see you again soon.